labor of love and something that was inspiring to me in the process. And again, thank you very much for that.
This is a wonderful occasion for Jamestown and for all of us who are lucky enough to be here and see the unveiling of this absolutely handsome and strong statue of Justice Jackson. We're remembering today a product of this community and of its public schools. The most treasured honor that anyone can receive is one that comes from one's hometown, from those who knew the honoree first and best. So it is today. Robert Jackson, one of the finest justices ever to sit on the bench of the United States Supreme Court, grew up on a farm close to Jamestown. It was here that he attended the Jamestown Elementary and High School, that he married, had his children, and practiced law. It was here that he spoke in 1935 at the dedication of the new Jamestown High School building. He said then, "If you believe, as I believe, that democracy is the form of government best adapted to our people, then you must regard the public school as the most fundamental concern of our society. Democracy will..."
Today the crane will be here probably within a half hour eventually. They'll pick the base up, put it on a county truck, transport it over to the Jackson Center, and the county's crane is over at the Jackson Center right now. They'll pick it up, put it on the concrete base. It was installed by Bloomquist Landscaping. And then hopefully they'll have the statue with them, and we can install that today as well.
The president then appointed Jackson as Attorney General in 1940, and in 1941 as Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court. He served in that capacity for 13 years until the year of his death in 1954. Now, for a lawyer or a judge, reading a Jackson Supreme Court opinion is a special treat. He wrote always with clarity, with style, and with persuasion. His opinions are just studded with wonderful passages and quotations. For example, he wrote of the court that we are not final because we are infallible, but we are infallible because we are final. He wrote strongly in support of individual liberties and in opposition to arbitrary government action. In his opinion for the court in Board of Education versus Barnett, which held a school child may not be compelled against his will to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, he said the very purpose of the Bill of Rights was to withdraw certain subjects from the vicissitudes of public controversy, to place them beyond the reach of majorities and of officials. In the Korematsu case, upholding the wartime confinement of Japanese Americans in relocation camps, Justice Jackson dissented, saying, "Now, if any fundamental assumption underlies our system, it is that guilt is personal, not inheritable." And of course, he was justified many years later by the common assumption that that opinion was, the majority opinion was wrong, and Congress finally rectified it many, many years later. Truman asked Justice Jackson to serve as chief prosecutor of the Nazi war criminals in Nuremberg in 1945. Justice Jackson recognized the enormous importance of a successful effort to collect evidence and expose to the world the extent and the enormity of the Holocaust. Jackson believed that the long months he spent in Nuremberg were the most important, enduring, and constructive of his life. We're following the path beaten by Robert Jackson for the protection of basic human liberties. Robert Jackson is a product of this wonderful community, of its soil, of its people, its public schools, It was here that he learned his lifelong curiosity for knowledge, an inspiration to seek self-improvement by hard work, and the courage to take responsibility. He knew education was not the formal years of study, but a lifelong process. With your statue of this great man, you will help everyone who sees it to further his or her own inspiration and his or her own self-improvement. Congratulations to Jamestown and to all of you. Thank you.